Hey y'all, it's your girl Miss Quitta, and I am popping in with a quick video. And actually, y'all, I have been making content. However, I have also been working on some goals, trying to get my dreams accomplished, and that takes that takes some time. So I haven't been as consistent with posting content. Which, like, if you are new here, welcome first of all. And also, I these videos I do are mostly for me, and I always ask and pray that if it's something in the message that can help someone else, that message gets to them, gets through the algorithm, and God works in the way that God does to allow the person who needs this message to be able to see my content. And I apologize, y'all. It's a lot going on, a lot I'm processing, a lot I'm working on. And one of the things that has been like going viral, because I normally don't speak about these things, but this story kind of just it I guess a hit dog a holler, because it struck a nerve. And if you all have heard, there was a lady doing a social experiment where she, I love it because she said she had to turn her baby off, but she was calling churches and seeing if they would help provide for her baby. And she said the baby was like 2 months and had ran out of formula, and she was just asking for a small can of formula. And if you don't know, I'm going to just help you out. Majority of the churches did not help her, did not offer any kind of help. And a lot of them also told her that since she was not a member, that she could not receive any help. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, because once again, for anyone who may be new here, I have been going through some challenges, and the challenges that I'm facing is, it's my fault. I take full accountability. Ooh, I take full accountability for my actions, because it was a choice. And at the same time, I remember, because I'm still not far from it, but I remember being in that place where I needed help and not being able to get help, or at least not in the way that I wanted it or expected. And because July 7th of this year of 2025, I got evicted from my home. However, prior to that and after, I was going through a thing where I didn't have any money and I didn't have any food. My lights were off. I'm surprised I got away with it for so long, because my lights was off for a couple of months. My gas was off for a couple of months. I did have water, but since I was getting it, because the water was tied with the rent, and so that was the only thing I had was water. And so, like, all the food had went bad. I would have to throw things away. I didn't have any money. And if you all check back on a couple of my videos, I shared a story about how I had less than $10, and I was, having to walk to the store up the street, which the nearest store was Publix, to be able to purchase some items, to be able to spread, the food out to last me for however long. So if you all, let me hurry up. So I say all that to say, I understand where this lady is coming from, because during my time when didn't have, and I'm still, like I said, still trying to bounce back. The only thing I walked away with was my makeup bag, and I didn't have any clothes. I still, I'm getting things now that are being donated from relatives. However, I remember just different times, y'all. I have a list, and at one point, I stopped writing the list. I was just, writing down the names or as they came along. But all I had was pen, paper, and stamps and envelopes. And actually, a couple of times I had to ask people to purchase the envelopes for me because I didn't have envelopes. But y'all, when I say I wrote to churches, I wrote to so many nonprofits. I wrote to all these different organizations, businesses, and some of the names are coming up in my head because these were from people that I have shopped with, that I have spent my money, corporate organizations, and, a lot of them, some of them, I think you all are boycotting right now because I don't watch TV. So any information I get is from social media. Well, I say all that to say I didn't get the help that, that I was hoping to have gotten, so I wouldn't have gotten evicted. I didn't have a car. I reached out to, oh my gosh, I reached out to car dealerships asking for help, even though I wasn't really expecting anything in return from any of these people. However, I was hoping that there may have just been one company, one business. Y'all, most of the nonprofits told me that they don't give to individuals. They only give to other corporations, other nonprofits, calling shelters and reaching out to those. And, a lot of the shelters have wait lists. I didn't have a car, so I wasn't able to get items from a food pantry. Because you would have to either pick those things up, and it was a hot mess, y'all. And I say all that to say, God says help the poor, feed the hungry, all these things that, especially for the Bible thumpers, that, instructions for how to be more Christ-like, and yet who's actually implementing those things? And because y'all, I know I at least did 200 letters. That's at a minimum. And when I say I want to throw out names, well, I mean, I guess I can because it don't matter. They didn't. When I say for everything, y'all, from like the Hershey's and Skittles to the car dealerships, cereal companies, General Mills, Post, y'all, everywhere. I was like, all the little snacks I would eat, Pringles. I was hitting up all those companies. I hit up churches. I hit up Creflo Church. Now, I'm not a member, or I never was a member. I did have a relative who attended the church, but no response. A couple, like I said, the nonprofits, because I was Googling nonprofits that could help. The government organizations, they said that, they couldn't help. It's so much criteria for some of these things where it's like, it almost seems impossible to even get in the program. They have some programs that wouldn't help me because I don't have any children. And it just, while it was discouraging, it left me knowing that at the end of the day, I guess all I have is me. But I don't say that because, like I said, I can count on one hand where I got, maybe that person too. I can count on one hand who all I received help from. And it really wasn't monetary. It was things like clothes, having somewhere to stay so I won't be up under a bridge. I'm grateful for that. And y'all, I don't know why, because the name, y'all, and I'm not even a drinker. Like, I don't, but, when I would partake in wine, I hit up the wine company. I hit up Josh Sellers. I hit up Cavassier. I hit up Hennessy. When I say I was going through every avenue, like, the people who make, do scissors and papers and pens, me. I hit up that company, y'all. I hit up Old Charlie's. I hit up Church's Chicken out, y'all. When I say the list goes on, just everybody. I was hitting up all these companies in Chicago and just different places. I know that everyone is going through their own things. So I'm not putting judgment there. I was going somewhere with this, y'all, because out of all the responses that I did receive, or, people saying what they could or could not do, the only thing that, okay, Purina hit me up and saying they tried to send me some coupons for dog food. And I need to respond back to them. However, I no longer have my dogs. So it's like, thanks. I was trying to get the help before I lost custody of my babies. And then Colgate. Colgate tried to send me some coupons for some toothpaste. But I don't have the money to buy the toothpaste, so what would the coupon do? I'm grateful. However, I needed the money to buy the toothpaste. I didn't have the money. But thankfully, I'm so grateful. I had a cousin. That was one of the fingers that I counted who got me some toothpaste. And so I say all that to say, y'all, we really have to start rebuilding community, because it's really coming from the people closest to you. Because I remember, y'all, the day of my eviction, I was traumatized, because I had every day, I would be so nervous. Every time I heard a car door close, I would be peeking out the window, paranoid, hoping that it wasn't them. And the morning of my eviction, I decided, because I was going to the gym every day, I decided to get up and take some letters. I had a handful of letters that I had just written, and I was going to put them in the mail and check my mailbox to see if I had gotten a response from any of the help, from any of the people who I had reached out to for help. And my phone was dead, but my phone was off because I couldn't afford to pay the phone bill. And so I went to the gym. I always went to the gym every day to charge my phone because, like I said, lights off, gas off. Hold on. I apologize, y'all. So I'm at the gym. Y'all, I wasn't in there 2 minutes because I went early, and on that day, the office opened up at 11. And I was there like 10. It was like 10. So I go to the gym. I plug up the phone. Y'all, as soon as I plug up the phone, I see the marshals there. And I see it was like 2 marshal police cars and the SUVs and like the van full of guys to evict me. And I'm like, I saw the lady point, the property manager. She was pointing because I lived going down the hill. And when I saw her do the curve, I said, oh shit, I think that's for me. And so I grabbed my phone. Like I said, I wasn't even in there 2 minutes. I grabbed my phone. I walked right to the office and I said, are y'all here to do me? She was like, yes. And I said, okay, wait. I said, my phone is dead. Can I please use the office phone to call someone? And she was reluctant and hesitant. And I actually was surprised at her response, because I had written her a letter asking her to have compassion for when this time comes, telling her in the letter how much anxiety I had. Yeah, it was so much pressure. And I also had told her welcome back because she had left. I remember she was the one who showed me the unit where I stayed in before I moved in. And then she left for a while and then she came back. So I was, I welcomed her back genuinely because, happy to be there. Anyway, so like I said, she didn't want to let me use the phone, but she did. And so the first thing I did, I called my cousin, the one who sent the toothpaste. And I said, when she answered the phone, because I was calling, I'm surprised she even answered because I was calling from the office number. And I said, cuz, I ain't gonna tell, cuz this Quitta, the marshals are here. They're here to evict me. I'm calling from the office phone because my phone is off. And could you please send a message to everyone in the family asking them to please help me to send some help because of my items, you know, I need somewhere to put them. Or could they just help in general, anything? And so I told her, I said, I need to try to make another phone call. And I said, I told her my address of where I formerly lived in case she was able to come and help. And then I hung up and I called my dad. I said, Dad, the marshals are here. They're putting me out. Could you please come by, get my address from my brother? He has my address. Then the third number I called was an aunt. And I had to, y'all, by this time, the area property manager, she was irritated because I know my aunt's number by heart, but now I was calm. I was cool, calm, and collected. But through the whole process, because the property manager was walking back and forth, trying to get paperwork. People were asking her questions. And I even remember the looks on the two of the people, what do you call them, who work in the office? Two of the ladies who worked in the office, the look of shock on their face. And just like of all the chaos and the commotion that was going on, I was like, you know, I kind of was like, I'm glad I don't work in here because it was too much. But my aunt didn't answer the phone. So I was like, okay. I left a message and I asked her, you know, if she would be able to help. Could you do that? So then I had to ask them, I said, y'all, can I get a ride? Because, you know, I was going to have to walk back down. And she had already sent the marshals down to put my stuff out because I wasn't in there. And so part of the reason that she got irritated is because I had left my dogs out because I knew I wasn't going to be gone long. And I had the windows open because, of course, I don't have I didn't have I didn't have air. And they called me. They was like, you need to come on because the dogs, I need to get my dogs. And so I asked them for a ride. And so they gave me a ride down there on the golf cart, following behind one of the marshals. And I saw the men. All the men were standing over there on the side. And, you know, y'all, it's kind of disheartening when you see, even though all skin folk ain't kinfolk, but, you know, you see a van load of black men who supposed to be the leaders, the protectors, and the providers. Not saying that, you know, I was looking for a savior or anything in that moment, but I was ridiculed so much by them and laughed at and mocked. And I'm like, y'all are supposed to be the leaders. You're supposed to be the protectors. Why would you, a nation can rise no higher than this woman. So why would you put a woman of your community down? You don't, and then it was, I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'll strive for perfection. But they insulted everything about, they just insulted me. And so, y'all, I'll go to the door because one of the officers was kind. The other one was like aggressive for no reason. I'm like, y'all, I'm not a criminal. I'm just broke. Like, I just didn't have no money. So calm down. I'm finna get my dogs and put them on a leash. And I'm finna put the dogs on a leash and I'm coming out. And so I did just that. But as soon as I got to the door, I forgot my chair. I said, oh, let me grab my chair. And I turned back. I get my, you know, the little iron chair. And I take the dogs and I went and sat up under the tree. And I watched them put all my shit out. And I'm late. My bad. Let me hurry up. the hardest part in all that was having to, because the property manager called the dog pound for me. And I just remember signing the process because of having to put my babies up in that truck. And the lady asked me, did I want to say goodbye? And I said no. And I just remember the process of who all showed up for me. And it was my cousin that I called initially, her sister, because her sister was the first one to show up for me, and then the cousin who allowed me to come here now. But when I initially got kicked out, I didn't come here. That wasn't even an option. You know, me being here was kind of forced upon, because I literally didn't have nowhere else to go. Someone sent me a list of shelters, but like I said, the shelters, they all had their nose, basically, what it all boiled down to. It was tough, but I took it. I handled it like a G. And, you know, another reason why I had called them, y'all, I put so much work into having a nice home. When I say I was so detailed in how I had everything organized, and the design, the schemes that I had, because y'all, at one point after my mom died, I ended up living in a hotel for about a year. And my first week in the hotel, because I told you I'm not a fan of TV like that. So the first week I was there, and I reached out to HGTV too. I wrote them a letter asking them for help. And but anyway, when I was living in this hotel and it was expensive, I had the first week I had the TV on what is that, Hallmark? Because I like Golden Girls. So I was, watching Golden Girls. I had the TV on there. Y'all, that first week, they changed it from HGTV, not HGTV. It went from Hallmark to like FX. And I was like, I'm not about to watch FX. No offense, but it's not my thing. And so I was like, I got to find something, something. And I end up finding HGTV. And y'all, when I say for basically the entire time that I was living in the hotel, the TV stayed on HGTV. So I would get design ideas. I would get so many inspired, looks, color schemes. I learned a lot from just leaving the TV on there. And I remember literally, I would designate special times to where I would just watch something else. It would be like during Halloween, during like the October season. One time I wanted to watch a movie, and so I chose to put on ABC Family. And, it was just little moments like that. Like, I think one day I got Chinese food, and I was like, ooh, this a treat. This a treat. Let me, watch a movie with my Chinese food. So it was different things like that, because, y'all, when I say I have been working so hard to try to make dreams come true for myself, and I'm still going. I'm still going because nothing has came to pass in the way that I would want it. And I thought I was going somewhere else with this, y'all. But even after all, because y'all, thank you for bearing with me, but backtrack 1 second, okay? Like I said, only 3 people showed up, and it taught me a lesson, and my dad, because y'all, I told them, I said, y'all get whatever, because I have nowhere to go. And I told them, my nose ringing. I told them, I said, y'all, whatever you get, just take it with you. I have nowhere to go. I'm technically homeless now. And I would want the things that I have worked so hard for, the things that I put sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears for. I want that to go to people who I love, who I care about, who are here supporting me when no one else will even respond or say, all right, question to ask, am I okay? And they did that, they got whatever. And y'all, I had some things. I had a lot of things. And they did that. And at the end, that's how I only end up walking away with my makeup bag and the clothes that I was wearing. Because I end up walking away with my makeup bag. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. And y'all looking at my eyes. I'm not gonna cry. But I will say, be grateful. Be grateful for what you have. For anybody who might be going through some things, know that you're not alone. Know that, and I really hate to say people have it worse than you. I'm swiping tears because it makes it bad. As traumatizing as things have been in my life. And like I said, I'm no victim, because if you know, I walked away from something that was so toxic. Like, how do you go to a job that hates you when you're there and hates you when you're not there? Y'all, that follows you to your house. Why are you following me home? When I'm working, I'm doing my job, I'm on my lunch break. It was so stressful every day. Like, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve to be harassed on a day-to-day basis. Even now. And the crazy part is, I've been doing my best to try to get back to work. But how can I get to work with no... Y'all, I was asking my coworkers, would they give me a ride? And they would say no. I don't have no money. I didn't have I couldn't Uber or anything like that. And even, like I said, when I got evicted, I don't even have the uniform anymore. So thank goodness, thank God, allotment came in on my card, so I was able to get a uniform. But if you know, with uniforms, they're so expensive. I only get, what, 2 pair of pants and 2 shirts, and the rest gone. That's it. That's all. A pair of socks, and I think I was able to get 3 hats, one for each season. But even still, you wear a uniform every day. Y'all, I apologize. I'm still going. I'm still working. I'm still writing. I'm still doing these videos. I'm still applying for jobs. And, even with the jobs, because I get emails every day, and the emails are basically full of either thank you for applying or we've chosen to go with a different candidate. And I keep bouncing back and smiling, saying, well, man's rejection is God's protection. So it's something out there. It's something else out there better for me. It's something else I could be doing. And I'm doing it. I started my YouTube. I started another channel for kids. And I'm working on those projects every day. And I'm debating on should I tell y'all my channel name. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, y'all, my pen name is Khadijah T. Figglemeyer, and that is the channel name on YouTube for kids. And like I said, I literally just started. This channel, and I've been working, trying to create content, create videos, and nothing too long. And I'm basically, I've been going into overdrive because I've been using one of the programs, Canva, and I got the free subscription, but my trial finna end in a couple of days. So I'm trying to produce as much content because, you know, you have better things, more options with the paid options. However, I can't afford it. Well, I'm not claiming I can't afford it. However, the reality is the free subscription about to end, and it's gonna change. But anyway, y'all, I didn't intend on putting this message out there and sharing with you all my truth and being vulnerable, because, you know, of course, there's some caveats and nuances in all of it. And I don't blame anyone for my situation. It's all me. It's the choices that I made. And actually, a big part of it was being delusional that the help would be there, that somebody would say, okay, I understand, I've been there. Or, you know, just the smallest of things, you know, because I would have been grateful for anything. And I am. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. That's it. I thought I had something else to say, but I love you all. If you all have gotten this far, and I keep checking out my look. Y'all know I like different makeup looks and stuff, and this was just something so random. I borrowed my scarf from my cousin, and I was like, let me just do something great. And I'm about to. I have a project I'm about to work on. So you all, if you have made it this far, will you put a rose in the comment for me? Any type of rose, flower, emoji, and that will let me know that you are a real one and that you have made it this far. And excuse me, made it this far. And if you could do something kind for yourself today, do something kind for others, and just put some good energy out there in the atmosphere, and do your part to try to make this world a better place when you leave from what it was when you entered. That's all I got to say. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.